heart was all a flutter. The train came roaring round a curve. Peanut butter. A bald-headed man in a restaurant says, "Waiter, my cocoa's cool." The waiter said, "If your cocoa's cool, put on your hat."
Hello beauties, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video that I am so excited about. It's an idea that I came up with a few days ago and I just could not wait to put this video together. So basically I'm doing a lookbook of all of the shades of Bésame Cosmetics lipstick that I own. So basically, if you don't know, Bésame is a vintage cosmetics brand which all of the lipstick shades are true to a shade from an actual decade. So for example, I have here the shade American Beauty, which is a replica of 1945 lipstick, and I thought it would be so fun if I tried to create kind of authentic looks from the eras. So this is the 1963 look. I'm super excited. My hair has never been this big in my life, but it's so super pretty. I tried to throw in lots of interesting fashion and makeup and hairstyling things from all the different decades. So I have 4 looks to show you. I really hope you enjoy them. Of course, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and please do subscribe to my channel. We're growing a lot recently and it's making me really happy. You can follow me on Instagram, which is at @averyvintagedarling. You can follow me on Twitter, which is at @thevintagedarling. All of my links will be in the description, as well as all of the products. I will also have a blog post accompanying this video on my blog, which is at averyvintagedarling.wordpress.com. There we go. I would not be a good salesperson. No, I would. But anyway, yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this video, of course, and I will just let you get straight into the looks. Okay, bye!
We are starting off our vintage journey in the 1930s with the Cherry Red lipstick by Bésame. The 1930s, of course, was a time of economic depression, but that did not stop so many women from being extra glamorous. Makeup was inspired by the Hollywood starlets of the silver screen, and a fun fact was that lipstick was actually being sold at such an exponentially higher rate than the 1920s. The lipstick was actually sold 1,500 lipsticks in 1931 to every one in 1921, which I thought was really cool. There was a change from the rosebud lip style of the 1920s to a slightly thinner and more natural lip look. Celebrities like Jean Harlow were a very big influence on the hair and beauty scene. This lipstick is so gorgeous. It actually works, I think, very well for a 1920s look. I used it in my Gatsby Girl Get Ready With Me, and I prefer to apply with a lip brush first and then fill in the blanks with the bullet of the lipstick. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous colour, and the hairstyle of the time was softer waves, so much more feminine than the kind of sharp, sleek bobs of the 20s. And if you want to avoid this irritating little thing that happens with cream lipsticks, then I have the perfect solution. I found this out from reading the Bésame lipstick instructions. Yes, it does come with instructions. So you take a tissue, pull it apart, blot once or twice on the tissue first, and then place it over your lips and use some pressed or loose powder, patting over the top to seal in your lipstick. This really, really will keep it in place for hours and hours at a time. It's a step that I try never to skip, and of course a lady must have her compact powder with her. This is a Soap and Glory one that I really, really love. And now, with your lipstick freshly applied, you are all ready for a day in the 1930s. I didn't have any 1930s dresses, but this Vivienne of Holloway one, which is more of a 50s style, actually works well for the 30s because it has the nipped-in waist and the slightly larger shoulders. Traditionally, 30s dresses had shoulder pads, and just that larger shape at the shoulders and a more nipped-in waist and longer hem will give you a 1930s-esque kind of look. And even though hats were going slightly out of style in the 30s, many women still wore them, so I have this beautiful cream one that I got at a market stall in Notting Hill, which I think is really pretty and perfect for keeping the sun off your head. As far as shoes went, T-strap shoes and Mary Janes were very much in fashion, with fairly low heels tending to be preferred. These white ones are from Deichmann and they're one of my all-time favourite pairs. Now moving into the 1940s war years. Obviously in Britain and Europe especially, there were lots and lots of shortages in these years, but women were still encouraged to be beautiful and glamorous. So this is the 1941 Victory red lipstick. It's my all-time favourite red lipstick. It's absolutely beautiful. And fun fact, when women ran out of lipstick, which they were encouraged to use every single last drop that they could scrape from the tube, a lot of women used beetroot to stain their lips red, and it was considered almost a form of patriotism to stay well presented and glamorous, because Hitler actually hated makeup. He thought it was un-Aryan, so it was almost a little form of resistance to wear red lipstick in itself, and almost every wartime campaign featured a girl wearing red lips. So Elizabeth Arden in America actually designed a series of lipsticks that match the chevrons on women's service uniforms, and this lipstick is a replica of one of those, which I think is really, really interesting. It's such a beautiful, bold, saturated red, and I'm wearing, of course, the classic rolls in the hair. Another big 40s look was big, bold lashes. The style was to paint each lash individually with cake mascara or burnt cork if you couldn't get hold of that. And then neat and tidy was very much the order of the day. So again, I just have some soft waves in my hair and then the top pulled back in iconic looking rolls inspired by Betty Grable. For my outfit, I'm wearing a gorgeous 40s style shirt by Dancing Days by Band. It's pink, it's very, very, very pretty. And then traditionally you would have an A-line skirt. A-line skirts were popular because they were straight and they didn't waste too much fabric to make. But I'm wearing some slightly more 1950s inspired shorts because it was very, 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 very hot that day and I needed to be a little bit cooler. But I think with these shoes especially, these are some gorgeous Lululemon shoes. Utility of standard shoes were often only 2-inch heels, and these kind of brogue style shoes are a very 1940s look, often paired with the Victory suits. Now moving into the Victory years, yay! This next American Beauty lipstick is a shade from 1945, which, as you all know, is the year that World War II ended. Unfortunately, this didn't actually bring an end to rationing. A lot of rationing was actually much stricter in the years after the war than it was during the war because of a kind of build-up of all of the shortages and so many people to feed and rehome. But this lipstick is not as true a red, it's more of a berry pink inspired red. It's such a beautiful, beautiful colour, slightly subtler almost in a way. And again, I love to apply with a lip brush to give a really smooth line. The 1940s lip shape was generally very softly curved. It was popular for the lip on the top to be the same size as the lip on the bottom, so if you had thinner lips you were encouraged to overline to create the desired look. And these kind of square shaped bullets to the lipsticks create the easiest way to get a really smooth, sharp lip line. Typically, your red lips would be paired with a matching, or as near matching as you could get, red nail varnish. Often they were sold in packs. And the 1945 hair look was often very, very smooth on top and fuller at the bottom with soft curls often curving inwards. It was simple, it was easy, it was feminine, it was perfect for the mood at the end of the horrible wartime. And everything was quite soft and feminine. The makeup look hadn't really changed that much since the early 40s, since obviously while cosmetics were more readily available, it was slow going for a while. And with the emergence of more colourful and bright fabrics, dresses began to be made that were very soft, airy, feminine. I have this beautiful one from Collective, which is one of my favourite dresses. It has a little keyhole and a cape, and of course the classic soft 40s style that we all know and love. And it's so much fun to spin around in, and perfect for so many weathers, especially this hot summer weather we're having now. And the shoe style didn't really change. Low kind of tie-up heels still remained in fashion. Now we are jumping through the 50s and into the swinging 60s. So the 60s was such an iconic era of so much social change, fashion change, hair trends. So much iconic kind of fashion looks and everything are from the 1960s. So I decided to go a little bit Brigitte Bardot inspired. So I have this gorgeous portrait pink, which is a soft pastel baby pink, perfect for a 60s look, especially when paired with the iconic big cat eyeliner and big hair from the 1960s. So since this isn't a red, I find you can get away with just using the bullet itself, and I slightly overlined and then of course blot with a tissue, and this baby pink actually lasts so long. I was worried because it was lighter it wouldn't last as long, but I was definitely mistaken. And then of course a matte skin look was very popular in the 60s as well. It was all about youth, pastels, kind of a baby doll kind of style. And it was a time of a lot of freedom kind of and liberation. Of course, I have the iconic beehive, and because it was a bit hot, my hair was getting a bit messy, but I decided to just go with it because it's a very Brigitte look to have kind of the messed up hair. And I just teased my hair and then twisted it and pushed up and put a clip in to keep it in place. I love this eyeliner look. I rarely do like very thick eyeliner, but I think I might try it out a bit more because I really loved how it looked, especially with my kind of milkshake pink nails and the baby pink lips. For the dress, I have a dress again from Collective. I found a picture of Brigitte Bardot in a dress style almost exact to this, so I will insert the picture here. It's so pretty, and skirts were becoming a lot shorter, with anything above the knee being labelled as a mini skirt. Quite scandalous. And for shoes, little low-heeled shoes or dolly flats were the most common, often inspired by Jackie O actually, and then by Brigitte, of course.